Okay, good afternoon, folks. Sorry we're a couple of minutes late. We're dealing with some just administrative issues and technical issues. Welcome to the 74th meeting of the Town Council, 13th elected Town Council of Happy Valley Goose Bay. We have an emergent meeting this afternoon to deal with a couple of development regulation amendments. And as it is an emergent meeting, there are only a limited agenda. And for that, the agenda is before council. We have two items on the agenda that deal with the development regulations. So I'll ask for a motion from council to accept the agenda. Moved by Councillor Brumfield, seconded by Councillor Compton-Hobbs. Any discussion on the agenda? Okay, none heard. All those in favour indicate with aye.
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 Contrary-minded? Pass. Okay, we've accepted the agenda. First item on the agenda, so I'm assuming this is going through municipal services?
Community planning.
Community planning? Okay, CPD, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mayor. Our first motion is in regards to quarry mineral working, a development regulations amendment. Be it resolved, under the authority of Section 16 of the Urban and Rural Planning Act 2000, the Town of Happy Valley Goose Bay adopts the Amendment Number 9, 2025, to the Happy Valley Goose Bay Development Regulations 2018 to 2028.
Okay, moved by Councillor Rumbold and the CPD committee that council adopt amendment number 9, 2025 to our development regulations 2018-2028. Seconded by?
I'll second that.
Councillor Compton-Hobbs the seconding. Before we go to question, can you, Mr. Dillon, in a couple of sentences or so, just explain what this amendment deals with?
Yes, Mayor. This amendment deals with, I know in our development regulations, it has fixed distances for the distance between residential and other developments and quarries. What this does, it establishes a referral buffer rather than a fixed distance. So if the fixed distance is not appropriate, now we have the ability to go to Mines and Energy, the Mineral Lands Division, and we can discuss with them and get their advice as to whether or not a development can be allowed within that old buffer, and it also gives us the opportunity to approve a quarry within that same distance that was established under the old regulations.
Thank you, sir. Any further discussion?
So just to add, I guess, and correct me if I'm wrong, but in this case, because of our town boundary so large, and we have seasonal residences or cottages within the town boundary that are within proximity of quarries, is trying to deal with that issue. Is that the issue?
That would be one of the main issues, Councillor. Like you say, we have a 300-meter buffer existing now in the regulations, and there is some encroachment there between the seasonal residences and some of the buffers and some of the quarries that are established and some of the other quarries that want to establish. In many cases, there's really no impact between one and the other, but because we have these fixed distances in the regulations, we have to abide by them. This now will give us the ability to approve any distance other, within those. There'll actually be a referral buffer. It won't be a fixed distance. So we can go with any distance that's appropriate according to us and according to the Mineral Lands Division.
So the province still would ultimately have the final say, correct?
They will have the major say, but if it's in reference to a development with the town, we would also be the final approving authority. But they also have a say with regard to the actual appropriateness of the quarry in a particular area.
One last one. So just to understand, if some of the cabin applications that or seasonal cottage applications that we've turned down because of the fixed distance, is it possible for them to reapply to see if they are within an applicable distance now or can be constructed in that particular buffer zone?
There should be no problem there because our advice was no objection to Crown lands.
Okay.
So the applicant now can go back to Crown lands and reapply presumably for that same parcel of land.
Yep.
And then it would be referred back to us And now, subject to the approval of the amendment, then we can entertain that
Yeah,
application again
yeah.
under the new regulation.
All right. Thank you. Any further discussion? Okay, all those in favor indicate with aye.
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 Contrary-minded? Passed. The next item, please.
Thank you, Mayor. My final one is RLD1 Townhouse Standards Development Regulations Amendment. Be it resolved, under the authority of Section 16 of the Urban and Rural Planning Act 2000, the Town of Happy Valley Goose Bay adopts the Amendment Number 6, 2025, to the Happy Valley Goose Bay Development Regulations 2018 to 2028.
Okay, it's moved by Councillor Rumbold and CPD Committee that Council adopt Amendment Number 6, 2025, to our Development Regulations 2018-2028. Seconded by Councillor Rumfield. Again, before we go to discussion, can I ask you, Mr. Dillon, just to give us a sentence or two on that
Yes.
motion?
Mayor, this is basically an amendment to the regulation dealing with the construction of a townhouse in a residential low-density area. I know townhouses are permitted in residential multi-unit areas and residential high-density areas, and as well as residential varied density, but for some reason it was left out, that description or those setbacks and so on were left out of the residential low-density area. Threeplexes and fourplexes were included, but for some reason, it's more of a typo than anything that was left out. So what this amendment does, it includes the setbacks and so on for townhouses in the residential low-density area. So it's more of a housekeeping item than an actual change in policy or anything of that
Okay.
effect.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Councillor Rumbold?
Thank you, Mayor. Just wanted to point out, I guess, why I would be in favor of this change, because we're facing a housing crisis, and as the town engineer stated, if you could do a fourplex, but it has to go width-wise, and if we can do a townhouse that would go up, we're going to get to the point in the future where just the amount of land that we have available, I don't foresee us ever being in a situation like the city of St. John's where we're going with a 10-story, but the ability to do a townhouse would maximize the ability to provide housing units while not taking up an exorbitant amount of usable land.
Yeah. And a fourplex is allowed now, but a townhouse is not,
It's
so
not.
it's just I guess it's just like you said, a change.
Up instead of out.
A typo instead of, or something that wasn't included that should have been included.
Yeah, so if I could just add, so
Councillor
this
Palmer,
is,
yeah.
this is in line really with other municipalities and allowing that type of use within those zones. So this is not anything that's out of the ordinary for
No.
municipalities.
No, that's correct, Councillor. This is certainly not out of the ordinary. And as Councillor Rumbold alluded to, this certainly brings everything in line as to, the availability of land and making sure that we do have available housing that can be accommodated.
And just to be clear, I mean, this is not approving any particular development, but just allowing for the, to allow for townhouses to be built within certain zones in the community. Right now, we have townhousing now.
Yeah, I think this is
Some
just to
degree,
clean up our development regulations.
Yeah, it's just tightening up
Yes,
the,
we have in the other three zones, the multi-unit high density and very
it's just
density.
that particular zone.
That particular zone, for some reason, had it omitted, whether or not it was just it appeared to me as more of an oversight, so that just corrects that and makes it more
More inclusive.
inclusive and puts it in line with the other zones too.
Any further discussion? Yeah, Councillor Rumbold.
The way I see it, really, we're just changing from a discretionary use to a permitted use now, really, right?
Don't think they were discretionary.
I
It
don't
just
think
wasn't
they were
in there, right?
discretionary,
Yeah.
this just makes it
Wasn't in
permitted
there.
as per
Yeah.
the other zoning descriptions in the other zones. So this just sets the setbacks and just makes it more clear and puts it in line with the other zones.
All we're doing really is adding in the other, RD1. That
What we have in the other ones.
Wasn't
Yeah.
included, so,
Allowing it to
Yeah.
be permitted, yeah.
yeah.
Okay, so everybody's discussed. I'll ask for the vote. All those in favor indicate with aye.
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 Contrary-minded? Passed. And I will make motion, sorry, but Councillor Winters has joined us by telephone at the beginning of the meeting, and I forgot to say that. So thank you, Councillor Winters. Okay, as is an emergent meeting, and we've dealt with the two items on our agenda, going to ask for a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn made by Councillor Compton Hobbs and seconded by Councillor Rumble. All those in favor indicate with aye.
Aye.
Contrary-minded?
Aye.
Motion is passed. Meeting is adjourned. 1 second, guys, just before anybody goes.